whoa. Are you okay to drive? I mean, a minute ago you were dead. What are you talking about? This is not going to end well.
We've got a bunch of juicy details and reveals from the set of Mission Impossible 8. I've been digging into all of them, and let me tell you, it's been a wild ride. Plus, we've got some Easter eggs to unpack too. So grab your popcorn because we're about to break it all down, from the release date to the story and everything in between. Let's dive in. Let's start by peeling back the curtain and taking a peek behind the scenes of Mission Impossible 8. Tom Cruise is gearing up for what could be his final hurrah as Ethan Hunt, and boy has it been a wild ride so far. This movie has seen its fair share of twists and turns. Originally, Mission Impossible 8 was supposed to be the second part of a two-parter called Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, but hey, plans change, right? Paramount decided to give it a standalone title instead, and bam, we've got a whole new ballgame on our hands. Now, despite the title shakeup, one thing remains constant. Christopher McQuarrie is still at the helm. This guy's practically the captain of the Mission Impossible ship at this point, and with his track record, we're in good hands. Plus, let's not forget about Cruise's insane dedication to these action-packed flicks. The man's a force of nature, but even he can't keep doing these death-defying stunts forever. I mean, let's face it, jumping off cliffs and hanging onto planes gets a bit trickier with each passing year, right? But hey, for now, Cruise is still going strong, and Mission Impossible 8 is chugging along in post-production. So mark your calendars for May 23rd, 2025, because that's when we're going to witness Ethan Hunt's latest escapade hit the big screen. And trust me, it's going to be one heck of a ride. With that being said, you gotta hand it to Tom Cruise. The man's commitment to his craft is truly next level. I mean, it just wouldn't feel like a proper Mission Impossible movie without seeing him tear it up in one of those iconic sprinting scenes, right? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because Cruise is still going full throttle with those epic runs, even at the ripe age of 61. Yep, you heard that right. Cruise was recently spotted filming in England for Mission Impossible 8, and guess what he was doing? You guessed it, sprinting like there's no tomorrow. And get this, he had blood on his shirt. Talk about leaving us hanging with some tantalizing clues about what's in store for Ethan Hunt in the next movie. But hey, it's not all about the running. Parts of Mission Impossible 8 are set to take place in none other than London, England. And let me tell you, the behind-the-scenes shots don't lie. We're talking Big Ben looming in the background and a heavy military presence to boot. Now, while it's not crystal clear if Derbyshire, England will feature prominently in the film, it's pretty much a given that Ethan Hunt will be tearing up the streets of London once again. And considering the epic action sequences we've seen in previous Mission Impossible movies shot in England, I'd say we're in for one heck of a ride. Simon Pegg recently dropped a bombshell on social media that got Mission Impossible fans buzzing. He hinted at Pom Clementiev's villain character Paris making a comeback in Mission Impossible 8. Now, if you remember, Paris seemed to have met her demise at the end of Dead Reckoning, but as they say, looks can be deceiving. Pegg's caption, "Hard to kill, if you think you've seen the last of Paris, think again," got everyone speculating about what's in store for Ethan Hunt and the gang. And speaking of Ethan Hunt, get ready for some heart-stopping action, folks. Rumor has it that one of the very first scenes of Mission Impossible 8 could take us to the Arctic, where Ethan and his team will be pulling off some insane underwater stunts. With the confirmed location being where the Sevastopol submarine sank, it sounds like we're in for a wild ride from the get-go. But that's not all. Some behind-the-scenes photos have revealed Cruise sporting some seriously long locks, hinting at a time jump between Dead Reckoning and Mission Impossible 8. Cruise's Ethan Hunt has rocked the long hair look before, but it's got fans speculating about what's changed since the last movie. Oh, and did I mention that we'll also be seeing Cruise and the crew on an actual American aircraft carrier in the Adriatic Sea? Yup, it's shaping up to be one heck of an adventure. Now, while we're all eagerly awaiting the release of Mission Impossible 8 in 2025, these tidbits are enough to keep us on the edge of our seats, speculating and theorizing until then. That said, let's dive into some of the exciting Easter eggs and franchise references sprinkled throughout Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. First up, we've got a major blast from the past. Eugene Kittredge is back. Yup, the former IMF director who butted heads with Ethan Hunt in the original Mission Impossible, returns to the fold, inadvertently setting Hunt on his next mission. Next on the list, keep an eye out for the fleeting appearance of former CIA director Erica Sloane's photo. Fans of Mission Impossible Fallout will remember her character, played by Angela Bassett. While Sloane doesn't make a physical appearance, her presence is felt, hinting at an intricate web of alliances and schemes that define the IMF. And let's not forget the subtle nods to the IMF itself. The franchise has always had a sense of humor about its name, the Impossible Missions Force. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, and Mission Impossible 7 keeps that tradition alive with some playful banter about the organization's moniker. Of course, no Mission Impossible movie would be complete without Ethan Hunt's trademark sleight-of-hand tricks. From holding onto keys to executing clever maneuvers, Hunt's skillful deception is on full display, paying homage to the character's roots. And speaking of callbacks, keep an eye out for those Dutch angles in the cinematography. Director Christopher McQuarrie channels Brian De Palma's style from the first Mission Impossible film, adding a touch of tension and suspense to the visuals. But perhaps one of the most intriguing Easter eggs is the mention of Fallout's villain, John Lark. While Lark himself doesn't make an appearance, his shadow looms large, hinting at the lingering consequences of past missions and the tangled web of alliances that Hunt navigates. In another nod to the franchise's past, Ethan's well-laid plans in Dead Reckoning Part 1 hit a snag when Benji's latex face mask machine malfunctions at a crucial moment, reminiscent of a similar mishap in Ghost Protocol. Just like in Mission Impossible 7, Ethan must improvise on the fly when technology fails him, adding an extra layer of tension to the already high-stakes mission. And speaking of callbacks, Ilsa's tragic demise on the bridge in Venice bears a striking resemblance to a pivotal moment in the first Mission Impossible film. Just as Ethan desperately tried to save his team member in Dead Reckoning Part 1, he faced a similar race against time in Mission Impossible 1, only to be met with heartbreaking failure. The echoes of past missions serve as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of duty. But it's not just recent history that gets a nod. The mention of Max Mitsopoulos, a classic Mission Impossible villain, ties the narrative threads even further. Max, the mother of the White Widow, shares her daughter's penchant for profit and ambiguity, blurring the lines between ally and adversary in true Mission Impossible fashion. With each reference and homage, Dead Reckoning Part 1 weaves a tapestry of interconnected stories, reminding viewers of the rich history and enduring legacy of the Mission Impossible franchise. Well, that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.